Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for extra support. Any kind of updates usually I go about on Twitter X, and this past week, missing here and there. Again, news is a little bit dry up. A lot of, or better, not a lot of stuff going on here that bears enough interest to bring on the gaming news program. But yesterday I did manage to publish a Midnight Suns episode. I will try to continue throughout this later stages and the fact that we got the celebration New Year's Eve and all that jazz. I will try to continue until it wraps up with Monday, Wednesday, and Friday launches until I wrap up with Midnight Suns episodes, and then we will have the Callisto Protocol series. I did manage to record, I think, a couple of more demo games that I will be presenting. I think probably today. I completely forgot which demo I recorded, but I think it was Sharpunk. I think I can publish that today. And then I have another one. I think I played Spiritfarer. I think that that was the one that I recorded. And afterwards, to start off the year, I need to do not a cleanup, but organize better here. Some of the stuff here, we got Elden Ring gameplay VODs. They've been here for a while here. I need to make a better organization here. But yeah, other than that, I still have the completed gameplay series. 4K, the most recent ones, and 1080p, a very old ones from 6 years ago, basically. Other than that, yeah, I think that's it for in terms of updates on the channel. Then I need to do see if I can do it in the next couple of days, a channel update. But yeah, other than that, let's go to the news. Got some interesting stuff here, still rumored. Again, try not to cover this much, but some rumors from the upcoming, especially the GPU stuff there, in terms of hardware for the CES, in the preparation. A lot of leaks have been coming out, and one of the most interesting ones, I think it's here for the Arc Battlemage GPUs. They say with 24 gigabytes of memory. I think this is more, again, this is for professional use. I'm not sure if this is going to be the B580. I will assume so because at this moment it's the only GPU that Intel launched on the Battlemage lineup. The 570, I think there was some reports that they shipped already. In some cases to some users. Again, not covering that. What I think is interesting here is the Battlemage already planning to launch some professional GPUs. Usually, when they use this amount of VRAM, it's more for AI workloads or try to be more focused there. Even though for professional applications, the more VRAM that you have, the better it is. Usually they are used for large language modules, which is kind of the AI stuff there. I think it's good because it allows Intel with their Arc, so with the GPU division, to launch new GPUs, which usually for professional uses, they are a little bit more expensive because they are catered to professional use. And I think they can wrap up a little bit more profits out of this kind of GPUs. And if they, especially on the entry level, I think we might see some good sales. Given that even for the B580, I think there was a huge demand. Given that the card is a very excellent price to performance option on the entry level. The recommendation from all the reviews that I saw is if you find a B580 around 250 to $60 or equivalent to that, it's at this moment is a must buy. Given that also because on AMD and Nvidia side, in terms of their launches on the lower end of the lineups they are going to present supposedly in CES, they will come up at least 4 to 5 months in basically in the middle of 2025. So that's why, again, if you're really building something or upgrading or needed to replace because your GPU was kaput or something like that, the B580 it's a good replacement because it overperforms on the 4060, and it's way cheaper if you find it, of course, 250. But given that there seems to be a huge demand for this GPU, there's been out of stock in a lot of places, but it maintains at least the B580 as a must buy if you're looking something on that price range. But yeah, it's interesting that they are going to probably, again, this is a rumor, on launching professional GPUs for the Battlemage lineup there. In terms of AMD, certain things caught my attention here, especially, again, the naming scheme. I'm still trying to get used to the 9070 XT and the non-XT variants. Again, there seems to be that they are not going to mandate the new connector, so the 16 pin or the 12 volt power pin, which at this moment they call it the 12 volt 2x6 connector, which is the upgraded version of the 12 volt power pin with the sensor pins. I think they are shorter to avoid any kind of, I don't know, bad connection there, any kind of issues with that. Um, I think they are going to be launched on the higher version. I think, depending if we maintain the 330 watts on custom variants from AIBs, I think we will see probably 8 PCI pins. Again, for my personal take, this is I prefer to maintain with the 8 pins, so the original PCI things connections for the GPUs, mainly because again, it's more safe. It's one of those things, you just connect, you hear the click, you know it's fitted, you don't have to, you just plug and forget. While even with this revamped 12 by 6 or 12 volts 2 by 6, so the upgraded version, there seems to be some issues here and there, especially with the 4090s. And the fact that this connector and the cable itself, the tolerances for like max capacity of the how much the cable itself can handle in terms of wattage is still it's very low, the tolerances for I assume spikes and everything, and of course the physical um, pin connector there, it's not well designed from the ground up. It doesn't still give me a lot of confidence on this even revamped or redesigned fitting here, even though it seems to be a little bit better, which is good, but I don't think it still has the same kind of quality that the 8 power PCI pins have, or even the 6 pins. I think Alchemist had some variants that they have an 8 pin and a 6 pin on the PCI connectors there. But yeah, those are more than tried and tested. But it seems that AMD will let AIBs, if they want to, introduce this new connector there, but they are not mandating the use. Even though, interestingly enough, AMD was on this, I think it's the consortium that did develop this new connector. They didn't went through for whatever reason. Again, I think it's more about manufacturing. At the time they were designing the RDNA free GPUs, they didn't include that on their own GPUs, and I think only a couple of I think more the professional ones did include this 16 pin connector on the GPUs. But yeah, similarly, they are not demanding, and they are sticking with the 8 pin power connectors. At least it seems that way. We'll have to wait in and have that confirmation when the lineup of RDNA 4 is launched, to see if they are going to stick at least with their own design, if they're going to stick or not with the 8-pin power. And continuing with the AMD, it seems that they are going to bring AV1 B-frame support. Again, AV1 encoding, the higher end. Unfortunately, it's only the higher end supposedly. Are going to maintain hardware encoding for AV1, the same way that RDNA3 came out with AV1 support. But this B-frame, I think it's kind of an upgrade on the AV1 stuff, which supposedly enhances even more a little bit the video compression and quality of that. But unfortunately, it seems to be only for the higher chips, so Navi 48, and it seems that Navi 44, so the budget stuff, will not even have AV1 support or hardware encoding there, which is a shame. Because RDNA3, all of the GPUs, if not mistaken, all the lineup of RDNA3 had hardware encoding for the AV1, which is a shame because again, if you by any chance, even if you don't do any kind of streaming or kind of recording in terms of media content, it's always good to have that because it can be delivered as an extra feature to add a little bit more value. I'm not sure how it works in terms of having that hardware encoding, if you have to pay royalties to a company or something like that. I'm not sure if it has something to do because, if not mistaken, AV1 as a codec is open source, if not mistaken. The X 265, I don't think it is. 264 is open source. Again, I'm not really sure about that. But I think if you want, it's open source and even the hardware encoding. Yeah, it's a shame, at least so far it seems. But again, we need to have the official announcement to see if it really is that the lower end, so the Navi 44 chip will not have this support for AV1. Um, yeah, I don't like this if it is like this, mainly because when they launched RDNA3, they on the announcement there, they announced AV1 support for all the GPUs. At least that's my memory serves me right. I think they announced outright, mainly because it was aiming for like gamers and streamers. Again, if you stream from while again, everyone is good. The main thing is YouTube does support AV1. The only thing with RDNA3 that I experienced with my streaming, especially with Elden Ring, is I don't know. Again, my case scenario, it's I was doing live streaming with OBS. I tried AV1. It did pretty well, but then I got the software recording for while I was doing the live streaming, and I think that was overloading the codec stuff there, and I have some crashes on the like the PC had to reboot, force reboot there. I think it has to do with codec overloading at the time. But again, I was doing everything at the same time with one machine, streaming 4K, recording 4K, then playing the game, everything on the same machine. I think it was kind of a rare case scenario. But yeah, other than that, I didn't see any issues with AV1 on the RDNA3. Hopefully, this could be solved, if not on the RDNA4 and RDNA5. I think even Alchemist had better AV1 encoding than AMD with RDNA3. But yeah, hopefully, if you only going to bring on Navi 48, hopefully it is a better encoding hardware than the previous generation with all this added feature of AV1 B-frame. Again, I'm not huge technical on this, but I know it's again it does better video compression and quality in terms of codecs. It's way better than a. Oh my god, I always forget the things here. HEVC, which is the H265 codec there. So high whatever compression, video compression, something like that, high efficiency video compression, which is the 265. Yeah, hopefully we'll get a better version of the AV1 on this RDNA 4. It brings a little bit more value, especially if you're on the mid tier, let's say, and you like to play and from time to time do some live streaming or even at recording. If you can record an AV1, the file sizes will be less, way less than especially 264. At the moment, I'm still recording everything on 264, even though I use a software which is Action Release. It does do an excellent job, but the file sizes are still a little bit big. But yeah, other than that, I hope this will get solved from AMD. But yeah, we'll have to wait for that announcement there. And then one tidbit here on hardware also. Similarly, a new Xbox controller the new Xbox controller is going to use DualSense-Like haptics. And I think this is going to be launched when the next console generation comes out. Uh, I only mentioning this because again, it seems all pretty fine and dandy. The haptic feedback stuff, like the dual sense kind of a thing there. We've already been having that. I think the first one to introduce this was the Steam controller, the OG version with the sticks. It didn't have sticks. It had basically haptic feedback stuff there. Was a interesting technology, even though I never bought any of those. The only thing here is still no announcement of Halo sticks. Halo, I think it's. I completely forgot how it's called. The technology, the Halo stick, if not mistaken, is the one that instead of being with a magnetic connector, everything is done through electromagnetic, so through magnets. The input is given through magnetic field and not through direct contact, as it is, which at this point in time does do the drift stick stuff. Um, that's why for me, given that I want my controllers to have more durability and last as long as possible, I bought an 8-bit 2. I completely forgot the name of the complete name of that controller, but it has the Halo thing there. Usually, I always leave a link to my PC part particle list of the current PC setup, and there is the controller there, if not mistaken. But yeah, I think they should bring up on the at least on the next generation of consoles the Halo stick there, so it has more durability and avoid as much as possible the drift stick or whatever it's called. Even though it seems pretty fine and dandy again with haptic stuff there, and they have the thing of lift wake again. This 8P2 is also the same thing. They got a dock to charge. When I lift up, it automatically turns on. When I put it on charge, it automatically turns off. So again, it's one of those things that already exist, and I think they should be implemented on at least in this upcoming new console generations here. Yeah, I think they need to ramp up the game on the controller side. I assume they do some money on new controllers because again, the stiff trick and the controls start to fail after a couple of years or so. And I think for something that you buy a heavy price, which they are not that cheap, they should be have a little bit more quality that they brought at least from this last generation. But yeah, it's a nitpick here. But I think everybody would benefit from the Halo's stick because they don't have any stick drift, that's for sure. And then lastly, we got here interview with SEE, so Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO, says company plans to grow their live service segment despite Concord failure. People, I think this should be mentioned here that Herman Hulst and Concord was his pet project. Um, especially after they it was because of him that Sony bought Concord Studio. I completely forgot how it called the studio there, but yeah, Firewalk or whatever it's called. But yeah, this is interview of Famitsu. Okay, I was trying to figure out where it was. And one of the question is how they evaluate the recent achievements of PlayStation Studios and its current structure. Again, he did a lot of corporate responses here. Um, uh, Again, they recognize that Helldivers 2 has been a great success. Helldivers 2 could be an even bigger success if it didn't screw up with that PSN account linking for two reasons. At the time when the game was launched, supposedly due to technical difficulties, they couldn't implement the PSN requirements, and the game launched without that. So they had a huge um, players playing the game. There was around almost 500,000 players, concurrent players there. And then after I think 3 or 4 months, they introduced the PSN requirements, which by itself, PSN is not available in 190 regions, which at the time was a huge misfire from them. But I think Helldivers Studio was mandated by Sony to implement that regardless if the PSN blocks the access is blocked in 190 regions or so. It was a mess there. The players count dropped immensely. Then you had like the community manager fiasco, just going all out, being completely jerks. And yeah, and the fact that that PSN requirement does really block those regions. Then people, a lot of them, try to refund the game. Some of them, I think they didn't complain too much about it. But yeah, that was one of the things. But here he continues. Here they talk about Concord. Says the market shifts a lot and all that jazz. But they are going to maintain, supposedly, they're going to maintain this live service um, production in place here to try and basically solidify a more sustainable operating base. This is again a lot of corporate talk. And the thing here is the main gist of this article that I want to approach is their priority is always to provide the best possible experience to our players. Again, corporate talk, and as part of that, we are also promoting the integration of PSN accounts on PC. Again, this is not good news. It only signals that even upcoming single player games that are published by PlayStation on PC will continue with that demand on having PSN account integration on the game itself. So by itself, they're already losing sales on those regions. And yeah, it's an hassle. The fact that also we've been seeing throughout the last couple of years a lot of hacks on PSN accounts, from leaking info, from credit card information and personal information being hacked on those databases on PlayStation. Yeah, I don't like this. I stopped recommending even if there are good deals, at least on Steam. There are a couple of games from PlayStation that I do recommend when it comes, for example, on GOG, because it's just you just buy the game, install the game, and you just play the game. No need to be online and any kind of that shenanigans. We saw this happening, for example, with Ghost of Tsushima, even though it has an element of multiplayer. They just outright put the PSN requirements there. And even I think God of War Ragnarok was launched on Steam. It's a complete single player, no multiplayer component whatsoever. But they did the PSN requirement to play the game. And I think this is something that are going to continue until, I don't know, maybe they see that doesn't stick that well with Steam. I don't know. Hopefully, this Herman host just and the other co-CEO. I think there are two CEOs here. I don't know. They need to stop trying to pretend that they want to inflate PSN accounts numbers to make it good to the board. But yeah, this is what we got here. And I'm going to wrap up here with some gaming deals. Again, a lot of games are on sale until the 2nd of January. And I recently bought up a couple more games that I thought interesting. Jusant is one of them. I always bragging about this game, and I decided to buy this game and eventually do a gameplay series on this one. I think it's a very interesting one. Also, Planet of Lana, I bought this one, and probably I will do a gameplay series on this one also. And Firewatch, I also bought Firewatch very cheap, $2. I know it's not a very long game. I went to the how time to complete or something like that site to see the average completion, and it takes around 5 hours or so maximum to complete this game. It's a very narrative driven experience, and it seems to be very good, and I wanted to try this one out. Then we got also Spiritfarer. Again, this I think I recorded this yesterday, the demo here, to try it out. But yeah, it's 85% off. Seems pretty good. But yeah, maybe on the next sale I will buy this game. Again, I don't have unlimited budgets to buy games, but yeah, this one seems pretty good. Then we got also Resident Evil. Oh, I bought the package of the remakes. So Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4 remakes. I bought. There is a pack with those games with all the deluxe editions, I think. And I bought those three very cheap. I think 40 something dollars for all those free games with the deluxe edition or something like that. I completely forgot the edition, but it brought a lot of extra DLC there. And then we got the rest of the Resident Evil games. Again, I will leave the list of all Resident Evil games that are all on sale. Then we got also Hogwarts Legacy, still 75% off, which seems to be a very good price for this game. We got also Okami HD, the port for Okami. Again, on the Game Awards was announced they're working on a sequel, so I think this might be a good opportunity to jump in and play this game. It seems it's been always very positive, always in the background of knowing that this game is pretty good. Got also Atomic Heart, 67% or 65% on the other editions. We got Sekiro, again, rare opportunity to buy a From Software game on the sale here, so 50% off, and also Armor Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, 40% off. And lastly, we got Sharkpunk, which is the demo that I'm going to launch episode for today, and it's 40% off, and got also a digital deluxe edition there. It seems it's very interesting. I kind of like this gameplay. The loop seems interesting, and I don't know, when I can, I will probably in the next sale buy this game, and if by the time that sale comes, if I wrap up at least a handful of gameplay series, probably I will buy to do, because I think this seems to be a pretty good one, even though it's got a very simplified pixel graphics. Yeah, it seems to be a very difficult game. It's not an easy one, but it plays a little bit like XCOM 2. But yeah, other than that, this is the last episode of the year. I will wrap up here with plug on my Patreon for extra support. This extra support is more in line for me at this moment in time, again, is to get a better storage solution so I can have backups of the stuff that I do for my clients, and of course, some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next year. So until then, Kunamy Master out.